What's up, Rock Camp keyboardists? How y'all doing this week? Make some noise. Woo! It is week 4, and this week's lessons was playing different genres and jamming and freestyling, improvising on the piano. And I just want to start there. Does anyone have any questions about this week's lesson or comments, breakthroughs, frustration, happiness, anything?
I liked because I've basically been doing just piano, but I like the different ones that you mentioned, like the E piano. I just like the way it sounds.
The,
That's really dumb, but like
no, it's not dumb.
It's not dumb.
I
Not dumb at all.
and then the pentatonic scale was interesting. So I've been doing kind of a collab song pentatonic thing.
Yes.
We'll see.
I love it. So I love that you talk about the E piano, an electric piano. So one of the first people to play the electric piano was actually Ray Charles. You know, he traditionally was sitting down at a big grand piano. A lot of his early stuff is on a real piano, but he was one of the first people to be given an electric piano. And Fender Rhodes is kind of what started it, and then Wurlitzer's started it. And why I like it is it's a warmer tone, right? Just has a warmer feel about it. And so that's cool. Is that the sound you want to use on your original, you think?
I have not yet informed my bandmates of this discovery, so
Okay.
um we're gonna try it because we're practicing right after this.
Sick.
It'll be
Yeah,
the first time it's integrated in.
I love it. I say practice with it, and you might be like, "Oh, this is amazing," or you might be like, "Maybe we need something
Yeah.
else here." Yeah, but you don't know until you try.
Mhm.
And then you talk about the pentatonic scale. So when you play the pentatonic scale on guitar or bass, it's lucky because it's the same exact shape, it's the same exact pattern every time. And on the piano, it's the same exact pattern, but it doesn't always look the same because of our black keys, right? And the way the piano is laid out. But basically, if you can memorize that pentatonic in your A, or if you memorize the pattern and count the spaces, you can play a pentatonic scale in any key. And I feel like I could teach that to us here in a second, but I also wanted to just ask if there was, for Hillary, for you, have you found your sound that you want to play on your band song?
I'm still figuring out a sound. I keep messing with the sound, and sometimes it's just distracting to me because it's just like super loud or super quiet. So we just barely figured out our chord changes for our verse and our chorus. So I'm just getting used to just playing those along with the band, and I haven't yeah. And every once in a while, when I change the sound, the way that I play seems to change. Like I'll play eighth notes if I'm playing like a synth sound or whatever. So it's been cool to play with different sounds so I can kind of see where I want to go with it. But yeah, we're still in experimental phase.
Yeah, that's right. And I love it because maybe, and this is getting a little more technical, but if you can memorize your favorite two sounds, maybe your verse has a certain sound, and then for your chorus, you might go to something else. Like, I might start a verse on a electric piano, and then I might, for my chorus, just go to holding down my organ and giving it a different lift. A lot of synthesizers and a lot of the organ sounds or church organ sounds give that kind of like spacey lift. And so you're like, ooh, I want to do like a cool space build right here. Then your brain starts to be like, oh, I know the exact sound that can create that emotion. Cool. You guys want to learn some pentatonic scales? Yes, we do. We're so excited. All right, let me switch my camera. Oh no. All right. We got microwave pizza set off the smoke alarm. Please take care of that, Aaron. I was like, is that the name of your band?
I was like, that's a good that's a good lyric. That's a good like lyric for a song for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sophia's like, thumbs up. We love it. Microwave pizza set off the smoke alarm. All right, cool. I'm going to go to my electric piano sound. It's one of my absolute favorites. And I know this is backwards, so it might be, hopefully it's not too weird. But I'm going to start on my C. I'm going to put my thumb on a C. I'm going to teach you all the minor pentatonic scale. And we're going to start right at C, because middle C is where you often start things in piano. So my second note I'm going to play, I'm going to put my pointer or my middle finger on an E flat, which is going to be this second note on yours. But if you don't know what it is, count it up, right? So if you go C, D, E, if I say E flat, it's going to be down from the E, which is on my white key. So C, E flat. You hear how that sounds kind of like, yeah, this is kind of sad or maybe like mysterious. My next one's going to go to my F, which is just 2 notes up from that, to a G. And nod when you got the note, so I know that you've gotten it and I can move on. G. All right, so let's start there. Let's just stick with that. The 4 notes. C, E flat, F, G. And then your next note is going to be on a B flat, which is, again, the black key below the B. We just learned in our bass lesson that pentatonic is because it's 5 notes. So the pentatonic scale, C, E flat, F, G, B flat, and then where do you think you go next? Anyone? If I'm at my B flat, what's my next note? Nice, C. Good job, Hillary. And then do that same scale on this octave. So just play it on your higher C, E flat, F, G, B flat, C. And try it all over your piano. La 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 la. So I'm gonna just play it in C minor. You try doing a little improvisation over that for me. Sorry. Jamming. And you can, when you're doing an improvised solo, just go bum, 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 bum. I'm just going between those 3 notes, and then I might go up. Octaves. Bum, And if you learn these pentatonic patterns, often riffs will come out of it. If you're just messing around and trying to come up with a cool riff, that's the place to start, is with your scale. So does everyone feel comfortable that they learn that C? So you can do those kind of like half notes in between too. So there, I'm just going C, F, C, E flat, F, E flat, C, E flat, F. Sound bluesy, right? You guys kind of feel how that has like a bluesy vibe? All right, so memorize how many notes are in between my C and my E flat. Can anyone tell me how many notes are between C and E flat? There's more than 1 note between C and E flat. That's all right.
2.
2. Nice, Jack. Yep. So I've got my C sharp, my D, and my E flat. So if I wanted to start this same scale on A, put your thumb on A, and you go up 2 notes, where's my next note? C.
C. Talia, quick question. So when I said one note, I think I was thinking like one step, as in a whole step from C to D.
Oh, okay.
But so you're talking about it's like C to C sharp to D to E flat. Okay, cool. I'm with you now.
Totally.
It's like a
I'm
step and a
talking
half.
just in the most basic form. I'm not talking half step, whole step, anything like that. Just how many keys, I should have said, actually. How many keys are in between it? So in your minor pentatonic, you're going from your, so we're going to do this in A now. You're going to go from your A to your C. And where do you think my next note is? If you're going to do that same pattern. So let's, sorry, it's kind of confusing. Let's go back to the C again. My thumb's on my C. My finger's on my E flat. My next one's on my F. So how many notes are there in between E flat and F? How many keys? Just one. And yes, it's the E, right. So let's go back. And then again, we're staying on C. I'm going to teach you this real quick. And then you go to a G. How many notes are in between F and G? One note is in between F and G, your F sharp. This is where you do another 2-note bridge, right? I'm going from my G to my B flat. And then up to the C, which just has a 1 note. So if you remember 2 notes, 1 note, 1 note, 2 notes, 1 note, you can play this scale anywhere on your piano and play the pentatonic, the minor pentatonic, in any key. So let's go back to our A. We're going from A, we're going to skip 2 notes and go where? C. We're going to skip 1 note and go where? Close jack. Skip 1 note, we're going to go to a D. So A, C, D. We skip 1 note again and go where? This is where you were just saying this, Jack. After my D is my E. You do a 2-note jump, so where are we going? E to what on our 2-note jump? E. Nope. It's a G. If we're going to jump 2 notes, back to our what? Our root, and where is that root? How many notes away am I? Just 1 note. Yep. So A, C, D, E, G, A. And when we were jamming before, we were jamming on that F because it works as a passing tone. When you're playing an A minor, you can play all the white keys and it sounds good. But the pentatonic scale, the actual pentatonic scale, is just your A, C, D, E, G, A. Play it from that higher one now. A, C, D, E, G, A. Play it as low as you can. Find your lowest A and play it there. A, C, D, E, G, A. Another cool thing to do when you're just practicing your scales is to do it with both hands. I start really slow, okay? I'm going to start with my pinky on my A down here. I'm going to start with my thumb on my A up here. And slowly I'm going to walk up to on both hands. A, C, D, E, G, A. That's all right there. That's just going up the scale. A, na. Anyone name that tune? Z. It's a.
Do 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 do.
One of my favorite piano songs, The Entertainer. That intro
Yeah.
is all in A minor, which is cool. Okay, we're gonna do this same scale, and I'm gonna do it in G. So everybody know, put your thumb where your G is. What's my next note in the scale? Remember, it's the same exact pattern.
That A is 2 up from there.
No, well, you skip 2, so you skip the 2.
Oh, you skip the 2. That's what I'm doing wrong. Skip 2,
Yeah.
so it's B.
Not quite B.
Minor.
B minor.
B flat.
B flat.
Flat, yeah.
Flat.
I always
Yeah.
leave the black notes out. I forget they exist.
So yeah, on piano, what's really cool is your black notes are all your sharps and your flats. Your white notes are everything without a sharp and a flat. And why I love the piano is literally just laid out in the most, it's right here, all of it, right? So if I start on C, I can just go C and only touch my white notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It's the alphabet. So if you know the alphabet and you only touch your white notes, you can easily find your note. So I'm on a C, and if I was going to say C sharp, where would I go? Yep, up a half, or up 1 step. Up to this right here, because it's a sharp. And oftentimes it's called a D flat. So D flat and C sharp are the same. You're just like, why couldn't you guys make up your minds, please? And it's because it is different in whatever key you're playing it. They kind of do it based off the key, but I just memorize the pattern. All right, back to our G. So if I'm playing a B flat, where is that? Right, it's 3 notes up, but skip 2 notes. Nice. Where's my next note? Where's my third note? After that, B flat.
B?
Not B,
You
because
skip
that's...
B and you go to C, so you skip the 1.
Yeah. Skip the B, go to C. So G, B flat, C. Where's my next note? If I'm only skipping 1 note.
D?
Awesome. D. And then here I'm going to skip 2 notes. So what's my next note?
F?
F. And then where is my next note?
F sharp?
Nope, you skip
Oh, you
your
skip
F
it.
sharp.
Go to
Yep.
G.
Your high G.
One of these days. I get used to skipping them.
Oh yeah. So G, B flat, C, D. I'm sorry, F, G. I had a brain fart. G, B flat, C, D, F, G. Yeah. Keep doing it. Do it up higher from there. So G. Oh, see? And I could tell I played the wrong note. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So G, B flat, C, D, F, G. And little tricks, just practice doing. With solos, you don't want to do a whole lot. You want to do things that are accessible to the human ear, right? So just doing a 3-note thing in G minor. I'm just walking up G, B flat, C, G, B flat, C, B flat, G, B flat, C, G, da, ba, 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 ba. And start adding da 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 da. Right? So it's just repeating the patterns. With solos, a lot of the times you're just repeating these basic patterns, but you're adding some stank on them, you're adding some groove to it. And one of my favorite musicians, B.B. King, said about the guitar is it's not about the notes that you do play, it's about the notes you don't play. So if I'm like going, if I'm doing that, or if I'm doing, you relate to that. You relate to the more basic sounding solo, and that's because it sounds good. All right, we're going to do this again. I'm going to do it. Let's do it in E. E is one of my favorite keys to play in on guitar. It's also one of my favorite keys to play in on the keys. So where do we start? Our thumb on an E. Yep. So where's my second note?
G,
Yes. Then where do we go?
B
A.
flat.
Close. You go to your A. So if you memorize, just so your first one's on your E, you skip these two notes. So your next one's your G. You only skip one note between your next two notes of the scale. So you would go to an A, and then where do you go if I'm only skipping one note?
B,
B. And then if I'm skipping two notes, where do I go next?
D,
D. Y'all are getting it. And then where do I go next if I skip one note?
just E.
E.
E. So something to remember about too is going down your scale. A lot of times I'll start on my root note, my E, and I'll just go. That's just going down to the D. E D D D.
Go down to the D.
E D D D. Yeah. E D D B A G. E D D D.
Cool.
Bum 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 bum. And the cool thing about the minor pentatonic is that if your band is playing E major, the minor pentatonic will still work with it. They do not have to be playing minor key for it to work. A lot of blues music, a lot of rock and roll, and a lot of funk, you'll still play a minor pentatonic over a major chord progression. It sounds really good. All right, I want y'all to do one more just so it really gets ingrained. Let's do, what's another hard one? Let's do B. So let's put our thumb on our B. We count two notes. What's our next note?
D,
D. We skip one note. What's our next note?
E,
E. We skip one note. What's our next note?
G flat.
Yes, G flat. And then we skip two notes. What's our next note?
A,
A. And then we skip one note. Back to the root.
B.
B. And when I talked about too in that solo video, a lot of these notes, you can do these cool drag downs. Like even my A flat or my G sharp is not in the scale, but I can still touch it and go down to my A. So like, Santana, right? That's just taking, that's putting my thumb on my F sharp, which is part of the scale, and going F sharp A B, F sharp A B, or B. And that's just B D E B D E B D E B D E F sharp E B B. Bob Marley's Get Up, Stand Ups in B, like get up, stand up for your right. You know, so try jamming to that B. Play your B minor scale. If I could play the bass line and the lead. That's something I struggle with too, is getting off on like when I add my other notes in. So then I definitely be like, all right, I'm just gonna stick to this. Okay, one more. Let's do one more. Let's start in F sharp. So if I'm in F sharp, where is that? My thumb is on my F sharp. If I'm playing, have you found it? So if you're having a hard time, you're like, oh, where's my F sharp? Find your F on your C, on your white key, and it's up from there. It's the lowest of your 3 black keys. So if I'm on my lowest of my 3 black keys, my thumb, where's my next note? A. Where's my next note? B. I saw you mouth it.
B.
That's B. Where's my next note?
D.
D. And then my next note?
E.
E. And then one more.
F sharp.
F sharp. F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So, do y'all feel like you can get this? If you memorize the space between your notes, and I say, you know, play in any key, do you feel like you could play the scale in every key?
Yeah.
You can. Whether you
Yeah.
feel like you can't or not. Just take the time to count it out. And then where, you know, repetition becomes your best friend in learning in every single key so you don't have to sit and count it out. Eventually someone could say, play in this key, and you'll just be able to. You'll remember your patterns. Don't even think about it as notes. Just remember that you're jumping patterns. You're starting, you know, your first note, you jump 2. Then you jump 1, then you jump 1, then you jump 2. So it's 2, 1, 1, 2. If you think like that too, 2, 1, 1, 2. And then let's talk major real quick. So Kaya, our bass instructor, just taught us this, that major, you're taking your second note that you play in your scale. So in the case of E, if I was playing E minor, I would play a G. But if I'm playing E major, I move that up to my G sharp. See how that makes you feel happy? So here it's a bigger jump, right? So you're going from E to A flat or G sharp to your B. So you're jumping 3 keys right off the bat. Then you're jumping 2 keys, so it's 3, 2, B. And then it's a 1 key jump to a 2 key jump. So it's 3, 2, 1, 2. Let's start there again. E, G sharp, B, C sharp, E. You see how that feels happier? And if you play all those notes together, those 5 notes, you got a nice voicing, a nice chord voicing. Ooh. If we're going to do that same thing, all right, so remember, let's do this again just so it's really in your head. E, G sharp, B, C sharp, E. If I'm going to play in G, where do you think my second note is? Anyone know? We're gonna skip this time. We skip 3 keys. B. Yes. Where do you think my next note is? If I'm skipping 2 notes there.
D.
D. So G, B, D. And then I'm only skipping 1 note here. Where do I go?
E.
E. Then I'm skipping 2 notes. Where do I go?
G.
G.
Yes, back to your G. So my song "Fuck Shit Up" is that major thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yep. It's "Fuck Shit Up" and you're just playing it in different keys now. Oh my goodness, I swore. We're recording.
Start that over and it can be edited out. We're allowed one swear.
Okay.
PG-13.
She said the name of the song twice.
That's 4 swears.
But see, and then also, what does that remind you of? Da-da-da-da-da! Charge! It's playing the major pentatonic. So that one I like thinking of the major pentatonic as 3, 2, 1, 2. 3, 2, 1, 2. That's the spacing. And again, the minor pentatonic was 2, 1, 1, 2, 1.
Cool.
And now you literally can play these. If you just sit down with your piano, you can play these patterns and you can play these scales in every single key. How cool is that?
Cool.
So in C, that's the riff that I came up with. And it basically is just taking my C shape and going up the scale. But this note right here is what they would call a blue note. So instead of playing my C again, I play this note, and that's like a blue note or a blues note. Because I could have gone. But how I got there was just messing around and just going up and trying different notes. And then I was like, ooh, I like that much better. And then just memorizing that pattern, right? Cool. Does anyone have any questions? Or shares?
What were the numbers of the minor scale again? 2, 1, 2?
2, 1, 1, 2, 1. I'm like, there's one more.
Yep. 2,
That's
1, 1,
close
2,
to my
1.
library card number. That's why I asked.
What?
Serious.
That's amazing. Your two passions just collided now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Musical.
She likes patterns.
That'll make it easy to remember.
Yep.
So Talia, in the song that my band's writing in our chorus, I want to do something cool with the keys during our chorus instead of just doing like 8 notes or something. So, it starts with D minor. That's our first note. So playing the D minor, the minor pentatonic scale. So the 2, 1, 1, 2, 1 is kind of where I want to be for that.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You play your D to your F,
F, G,
G, A. Because your D minor chord is D, F, A.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or if you want to go up to your C, C, A, G, D. Sometimes, like with piano, just coming up with like little parts like that.
Yeah, I definitely, since I've played drums, I'm already thinking of like the percussion that could be played or like the rhythms that could be played around with the drums and bass are being played. So yeah, I think I want to try to use the keys as like another percussion instrument in our band a little bit.
It's sick.
For at least for the chorus. I don't know on the verse. On the verse, I feel like I need to like lay back a little bit more so that the lyrics can shine on the, it's like more of the story is in our verses and then like the anthem-y parts in our chorus where we want people to like sing along, hopefully.
Yeah. And that's where you'd go in between your different sounds. Like if you want to hold out big chords, you know, you would switch to the organ sound that you're using, like and hold it out, dun, dun, and then the other parts, you know, you can lay back. Just try and find it because it is, since you are a drummer, you will be more apt to knowing those counter beats, which is sweet.
Yeah.
You know?
Now I just need to know the chords to put with them. But this helped so much. Like, because ours is a D minor to a B flat, and I was like, well, okay, I can play a B flat, but like, what other notes can I play besides a B flat? So now I have a really good tool to just use the minor 2, 1, 1, 2, 1 and find those little notes that might.
Well, it depends. So if you're playing B flat major, then you would do your major scale.
Oh yeah, that's a major. So I do the 3, 2, 1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, like that sounds cool. Ba, 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 ba. Major. This is major. This is minor.
So if my band is playing a major chord, so that they're playing, or like the song is B flat is the second chord we're playing, I could play major or minor, or I should just stick with the major.
I would say if everyone else is playing major, you would play the major chord,
Okay, cool.
but you can play some of those minor notes and it will sound good, but I'd say
Okay.
just try it. And if it doesn't sound good or it's making it too sad or whatever, then play the major. Yeah.
Cool.
But you could play D minor through the entire song and it would sound good.
Yeah, well,
Because
that's what I started out doing kind of at
the key
first.
is in D minor. The
Yeah.
song is in D minor, so you could play that the entire song.
Yeah. Cool.
Jack, you have a question?
Yeah, it's actually really similar to that. Is it necessary to play the same exact key that the guitar is playing?
No, because sometimes you could be playing a harmony.
Okay.
And is sometimes where you're getting into more complex things with music. But like, say your guitar player is playing in D, say you're playing in D minor, you could play a harmony note and you could play your F over the D. Like, you can kind of create that tension. And if you're looking for what note to play, start with your scale. Start with the notes that are in the D minor scale. Or if Mars is playing an A minor, start with the A minor notes. And so you might be up here on this E while the rest of the band's chugging an A. Whatever you put on top would be really cool.
Nice.
But, if you are doing riffs, you can, what's rad is to play the same exact thing. Or, so say Mars is playing a riff, find out the spacing of their riff. Say that Mars is going from their C and they're going to their F. Well, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 notes in between here. And so say I would want to play a harmony to that. I would start on F and then count 4 notes and go to my A. So if Mars is going bum, bum.
Mars is playing BDG.
Okay, yeah, let's figure it out for yourself. B, D, G, right?
BDG. Yeah.
So you're gonna count that space. B to D is 2 notes in between. I mean, y'all are playing. That's awesome. It's like the minor pen, or that's actually it's minor. B, D. So I would count that. If I want to start it on D, I would do a D to an F. You see how those harmonize? And they harmonize because they're the same amount of space apart as, say, the 2 notes that Mars is playing. So that's another way to do harmonies, is to put the same spacing in between. As long as you're starting your harmony in the same chord. Do you know what I mean? So you know how I got to that harmony is I knew where my D scale was. And I'm like, ooh, F works, so I can play F to that. Because that is fun for piano to like explore playing counter notes and harmonies, and yeah, it's rad. I'm excited to hear what you all come up with. And then just look up backing tracks. I want you to look up whatever pentatonic scale feels most comfortable and in whatever key. Jam to backing tracks. Practice soloing to those backing tracks and just figuring out what pattern feels good, what pattern sounds good, what you like the best, and have fun with it. Cool. Any other questions?
I just found a D minor backing track that said it's emotional, so I'm going to be playing that.
Yes.
Emotional.
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but I'm about to find out.
That means you're going to play some deep, dark synthesizers,
Yeah, probably.
right? The emotional synthesizers, or you could do the emotional piano. E minor is the saddest key of all, they say.
Of course, our band chose the saddest key.
I love it.
Minor?
Music's
It's a joke from
Oh,
from a movie.
oh, okay.
This is Spinal Tap.
Yep. Turn it to
Oh.
11.
I've seen it. I just
Yeah.
no, don't.
All right. Well, I feel awesome. I think you guys are killing it, and
Yeah.
you're sounding great, and you knew what notes to do, and trust yourself. Trust
It
your
only
instinct.
took you like 4 or 5 times, so thanks for being patient.
Yeah, no problem. That's what we're
That's
here
awesome.
for.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's good to see everybody. Keep shredding, and your lessons will be live tomorrow night, and it's stage presence. So
Cool.
we're excited about that one.
I love presents.
I
Yay,
love presents.
presents.
Okay. Night, y'all.